It's time for the Dr. Tongie Show.
Hey, you're on the air with Dr. Tongie. Talk to me.
As soon as I hear your voice, Dr. Tongie, my day is better.
Hey, Dr. Tongie. I took your advice and made some changes in my life. And you know what? I've been winning ever since. Thank you for your advice.
Now, here's Dr. Tongie.
Hey, and good afternoon. Welcome to the show that was founded on Kingdom Principles, a show designed to get you from where you are to where you want to be. A show that is packed full of people who's doing it in the marketplace and they're having fun. And you know what? They stop by to show us that we can do it too. And like always, we got our girl, Jeannie Kitty of the City Jones.
Meow. I'm ready to pounce and get into leadership.
Oh my gosh, I know,
we
right?
introduced you. You can't do that stuff yet.
And moving right along, I missed you guys last week.
I know.
Please.
Glad you're back in the
Man,
saddle. I'm like, who's sick? Whose family member sick?
I know,
like,
right?
She'll be back.
I know,
she'll be
right?
back.
I looked and I'm looking at you guys and you and KJ got it going and I'm thinking,
Yeah, the ninja KJ
yeah.
Tom. Yes.
So the inspiration came for leadership. But who's here? What's going on?
Well,
here?
what's amazing about the show today, it's really piggybacking from your Talk to Tongie on Facebook Live, your principle on leadership, and so excited about everybody on the show today, from Pastor Michael Fisher of Greater Zion. He will be checking in a couple of minutes. Also, a CEO of createthechange.org, doing big things, advocate in the community, and another rock star we have in the building today. Not only is she killing it on BET, but just in music, producing, songwriting, and she's going to talk about how she uses her platform to change and inspire the community right after we hear about your principles for this week in leadership.
Good deal. Thank you. Thank you. I really wanted to just kind of expound upon what you did last week. That was a leadership move. And we know that you're a leader. We know this because you have all of the qualities that a leader is supposed to have, such as passion and initiative and teamwork. You're innovative. You've got discipline. Oh, and you got peace. And I love the fact that you're focused. Time management is your friend because you get on to me about it. Confidence, positive, your disposition, and of course, compassion. And these are just some of the qualities that, of course, my girl has. But to know that everyone is a leader, and I say that purposefully, because we want to believe that leadership is based on skill or power or notoriety or likability. But if it's based on that, and if you're no longer likable, are you not a leader? Of course, you're still a leader. A leader is someone who says, I don't like what I see, and if I have to do it by myself, I am going to do it. I don't need to make a name for myself. I just need to get the job done. But here's the thing, here's the caveat that I want you to be careful of. Because leadership is lonely. It does require you to discover what it is about you before even getting into leadership. You don't just go out and say, I'm going to be a leader. You say, look, I don't like what's going on here, and I'm going to do something about it. And that's what leaders do. So the series for this month is going to be leadership, effective leadership, the qualities of it, what it takes to be a leader. Because again, all of us have leader. We're born to lead and destined. We're created to lead and destined to make a change. And you got to keep that in mind as you are picking up the mantle for whatever it is that is inspiring you. I'd say do an inventory first. Make sure you are well equipped. And what is that well equipped? You know who you are. You know who he is or whoever your creator is for us and this show. It is God through Christ Jesus and the principles that he already left in the earth. Some call them keys. We call them disciplines and or principles. So that's what our show is going to be like for this month. Leadership, we'll go out there and we're going to make some things happen in the community with the leaders that are already destined for change.
Well, I know for sure the guests on the line and in the studio are leaders for
Yes.
sure. We've all seen them doing their things in the community on national platforms and some international platforms. I'd like to welcome Pastor Michael Fisher of Greater Zion Church, not only an advocate in the community and the pulpit, outside of that, leader at home, being hubby, dad, producer of film, music, and uses his platform consistently to help the residents in and around the Compton area of Los Angeles.
Absolutely.
Pastor
All
Fisher,
right.
welcome to the Dr.
Welcome
Tongie
to the show, sir.
Hey, how's it going?
It's going. It's so good to hear
Are
your
you
voice.
getting in and out of the car? That ding ding, was that a new sample for us, a new song?
No. Yeah, no, that was a little beep in the background. I'm good though. Hey, how's it going? I'm so sorry I couldn't personally be there. You know, LA traffic is like the Mississippi River.
You know, having you in your presence here is one thing, but just knowing that you even wanted to be here and you're here, okay, it makes it wonderful. Thank you.
I'm so glad to be a part. You know, Miss Tongie, I just love your spirit.
Oh,
I love you so much,
Bishop,
and the whole
Bishop.
crew. And Jeannie, what about
I love
Jeannie?
You rock star. And Pastor, can you talk about some of the platforms you're currently working on in Compton? You've done so much,
Oh, yes.
your programs, but then I know you're doing a lot with the mayor. But what are your main focuses for that's happening right now, and what you're looking at in 2020 in terms of just making more of an impact in the community?
Well, currently, our concentration from Greater Zion is engaging the community, and we're focusing on two primary deficits, if you will, that is homelessness and health awareness. So we know that in the inner city, they call them like desert spots when it comes to healthy food. So what we're trying to do is use our health ministry through our JT Community Development Corporation to ignite an interest in healthy eating, healthy options. And so we do workout and Zumba every fifth Sunday at Greater Zion. And at the same time, we're currently working with the city of Compton to do Compton's first vegan fair. I went to a vegan fair last weekend. I was just so impressed with it. And I really believe that our people perish because of the lack of knowledge. So people think that you can't eat healthy because it means it's going to be nasty. And maybe that was the case back in 1972, but in 2019, you can definitely be healthy and it tastes good and be good for you. So that's one initiative. The second initiative is that we're really working on trying to put a dent in the homeless issue in Los Angeles County, but definitely in Compton. And so we're working closely with the city to see if there's certain housing or lots or facilities that are vacant that maybe we can rehab in the near future and provide shelter. Ms. Tongie, she knows that that was something that I had a passion for a couple of years ago when we were working closely together, and not just providing shelter, but also she definitely was interested in providing, like medical and health care for them as well. So that's still on the table. They have a new administration that's in, thank God. And so it seems like some things will be moving forward in 2019. I'm currently working on trying to establish some things medically for the city of Compton. I have an appointment later with my doctor to see how it is we can bring a clinic there, right there on the grounds of Greater Zion, and see how we can service District 1 where it is that we reside. So those are the two things that we're really going to work on between now and the end of this year. And then for 2020, I am a part of an initiative called Time Done. A lot of people don't know this, but over 70 million Americans, and that's 1 out of 5 Californians, are facing 40,000 barriers that keep them from being able to own a house, being able to be a president of the PTA, or being able to adopt a child or work a high-level job simply because they have a prior on their record. Now, they've served their time, they pay their debt to society, but yet the record is still open, and it's like they can never outlive their past. Well, being a Christian, we're founded on the term reconciliation. We're founded on the term repentance. We're founded on the term of reformation. And so Time Done is an organization that plans on presenting legislation to Congress in 2020 that if the bill is signed, once you've served your time, it is done. Your record will be sealed completely, and you get a fair shot in being able to start over again and get up on your feet. And so for more information on that, you can go to timedone.org, or you can just simply text Time Done LA to 72345.
I love it.
Those are the three main
That's
things.
amazing. I want to I'll put on my hoodie and my Timberland boots. Pastor, I got your back on that one. That's gonna be one hill that we definitely gonna go up and make it happen. That's strong. To
that
even begin that.
Absolutely. My hat goes off to you, and my love is still there for the homeless. I too suffered that fate, and that's for another story. But thank you so very much for even having a heart for the people. You have a lot going. You do. And what's interesting for me, Bishop, is the fact that one, your church, is it was the first, African American church in Compton. And with that kind of heritage comes so many responsibilities. The mantle having been, your dad, a legacy in and of himself. I mean, my love for him and what he's done for people, period. Do you feel that, okay, to whom much is given, much truly is required? Are you ready for that mantle to be kind of placed upon you?
Well, if the mantle doesn't scare you, you're wearing the wrong one.
Amen.
And, and so, am I ever ready? Am I ready? Of course not. But God deems it that way on purpose so that we never get full of ourselves, and we always have to pull on Him. So Joshua was not ready, and Elijah was not ready, and Solomon was not ready, but yet they trusted in the God of their forefathers. And so I believe that God has called me to take the legacy that my father built and then build upon that for my son, Markai. And he will lead me the same way that he led him for over 65 years in ministry, all the way up until he led the nurse in his facility to the Lord.
I love
literally
it.
a week before he went to go see Jesus. I mean, that same God is going to lead me. I'll say this, I feel more of God now that my earthly father has left than I probably did even when he was there, because when you have your earthly father, while they are instructing you in the ways of the Lord, it still kind of is a buffer, right? You look to them for advice. You look to them for wisdom. You look to them for protection. But ultimately, our Heavenly Father wants to be all those things. And so it's not until that earthly piece is moved out the way and you're forced to go straight to the Heavenly Father that, you kind of miss out on how Daddy, as you call him, really can take care of you. And so since my earthly father has been gone from the earth realm, I've really seen the hand of God with me, clarity like never before, passion, and I'm ready. I'm ready. I'm scared, but not fearful.
Yeah.
Scared is just a fleshly part. Fear is something that resides in your soul.
Absolutely.
I'm scared, but I'm ready at the same time to move forward and see what God's going to do.
Good deal.
That's why I like Pastor Fisher, because he talks about being fearful and everything else he goes through on his Instagram.
Yeah.
Very transparent. And I like that, and it's necessary because in the principle of leadership, I think it is so important to let people know how you feel just in the raw, and like, no, I am you, and we are like, we have different assignments, but
Absolutely.
a lot of times people always look like everything is okay, and nah, no, it's not.
Well,
So
you know what?
appreciate every angle of that, Pastor.
Absolutely. Thank you for that.
Well, if people are not transparent, then what happens is you fall in danger of becoming an idol. And so
Mm.
they start idolizing you when they start seeing you as not human and they start seeing you as a superhero. So I try to do my best. Sometimes I'm criticized, but that comes with being a leader, period. You're going to be criticized, period. So
Absolutely.
sometimes I'm criticized with how transparent I am, but I honestly believe that the people that are called to me survive off of my honesty. And if I were to ever pretend, then they won't receive from me what it is that they need from me. And that is the realness that we all have hard days. We all sometimes get foggy in our vision. But through God and through faith and through prayer, I pull through. Like I'm not on some secret juice over here, right? I'm doing the same thing that I'm doing the same thing
I'm gonna
that
come check, Pastor. I'm gonna come check.
you
Oh
know,
my
and,
God.
and, and, and I'm doing the same thing you're doing to make it through the day. And then
Yeah.
Right.
people look and identify and be like, wow, if God could do it for him, then God could do it for me. I call it the Paul approach. You know, Paul was very much like, I'm the chief of sinners. And if God could use me to preach his gospel, he can use you as well. So I take that approach.
Absolutely.
We're talking about platforms and
Absolutely.
leaderships and TFP. You're on a huge platform right now. Well, always, but like a really big one, because we're talking about being careful of being idolized, but you're on a hit show right now on BET that's called The Next Big Thing. So that's kind of idolish, okay? But you being a recording artist, musician, producer, songwriter, just all around rock star and community activist. I'm listening to the things that Pastor Fisher's talking about. You are constantly with our youth and young people as a leader. What are some of the things that you hear and some of the things for sure could be changed and uplifted moving forward?
Well, particularly with our youth, particularly African American in the city, whether it be black or Latino, our kids, we don't see enough of ourselves represented in a positive light just across the board. So it's a little bit it's a little bit difficult. Being a young, I can imagine, like I'm 20 right now, but I remember being that little black girl in school, being the different one, kind of being not necessarily the outcast, but I was different. I made friends. I hung with the boys. I was smart, but I did sports. I wasn't really into, doing my nails or this, that, and the third. But I was always, my thing was just, I was cool with everybody. I was kind. I was courteous. I was sweet. And that to me is a representation that I think we need to see more publicly gratified for our kids. We see it a lot with, males, but when it comes to women, it almost seems like there can only be one in any field, one, whether it be music, business, athletics or things like that. It always seems with women, there's just one at the top. There's no room. And then it makes, girls and women feel like we have to be competitive within ourselves, and if we don't necessarily reach that hand back like we should to help our youth, our younger ones, our underprivileged, or those who just maybe just as dope as us, but haven't been given the opportunity. And that's really what I want to do for our youth. A lot of I went to Howard. I'm a psych major, so I got that side of me, and I really want to work with these kids' minds, because that's really where it all starts. You can go out in the world, you can be influenced by this, that, and the third, but when you have that right foundation, when you have somebody who's there, somebody to be like, I'm her, you me, like I'm just like my hair don't straighten, it's curly 99 times out of 100, but it's cool. She's doing her thing, and she's cool. She's not hypersexualized. I'm not, selling something I can't, back up. Like it's just me, and it's not a facade. It's not a caricature. It's not anything I'm trying to emulate for the sake of likes or views or ratings. I can only give you me, and I come from a Christian foundation, so my foundation is just loving people, loving anybody, everybody, kids, adults, just bringing that into what I do. So I've been blessed to have a platform like music to be the way that I can express and reach my audience. And I'm small. I'm like 5'1", so kids think we all the same age anyway. And so
It's like, who, Miss T? Who? That's
It's still weird. Like, okay, what's up? So it's cool in that sense, because they don't see me as like a parent, but I'm not exactly like a kid, but I'm somebody they still can relate to, but still come to me with whatever they're dealing with. They want to have fun, if they want to talk, if they want to cry, like that's just me. I want to be like the big sister to kids, and I'm an only child, but yeah. So that's just me. And I'm blessed. Like I said, the BET platform has been an extreme platform for me to just get my message out, being positive. Being a girl from Inglewood, California, I've been involved in various circles of people. Like I said, I'm from Inglewood, but I went to private high school, Campbell Hall in North Hollywood, not too far from here, actually. Mm-hmm. Yeah, right up on Laurel Canyon. What up, CH? Yeah, so, being in those different types of communities, I have an understanding, which I think really differentiates me from a lot of other artists. I still do put education first. Like I said, I went to Howard. I did that whole student thing. I did it well, graduated with honors. Woo woo, HU, So yeah, you can have the best of both worlds, and that's really where I am. I'm like a medium of things. I really want to bring things that people don't necessarily see as being alike or being adhesive, and bring them together. Black kids, white kids, young, old, just love. Love is at the center of everything I do. So yeah.
That's good. Absolutely. Thank you so much for your service. What has been maybe just a couple of the challenges that you've seen with the children that you want to inspire and motivate and say, hey, you don't have to be here. Let's do this together.
The biggest thing for me is consistency. A lot of kids may see an image of something one time and it's there. It's like, okay, you saw it, but it's like it's a dream. Did I really see it? Was that really it? It gets fuzzy after a while. So I want to let them know I'm not just here and being involved with them just for the sake of publicity or just to look good, like I said, or to get some captions or some likes on my Instagram. Like, no, this is what I would be doing regardless. Music just happens to be my medium, but I'm here. I want to spend time with you guys. I want to be here. I want to be a constant. Not just a comer and a goer.
That's leadership.
That is absolutely you matter kind of approach.
Yeah, yeah. Because you too could do what I'm doing. What I'm doing is it's a blessing to be able to have a gift and to have a gift that keeps on giving. But it's not impossible for anybody, and not just in music, but across the field. Anything you want to do, you put in that time, you put in that grind, you pray on it too, and it can come to fruition.
I like to see what TFP's talking about and Pastor, and these things, what they're talking about. These are the voices I prefer to hear on the street, streaming, on television, because all of these things are great, but if we don't get more organized with consistency, for me, I'm me, I'm more of a realist. I'm like, well, where's this going to go? We constantly, we saying things, but with we constantly in a political circus. But what do we do moving forward to be more consistent and more organized together for these common goals for our community? Like I said, whether it's health, youth. I mean, there's so many things we have to address. So how do we, work on these things, and who do we begin to talk to so that we are assessing what we're talking about?
It's good.
Absolutely.
We're going on tour.
We are.
Here I go, Dr. Tongie. Yeah, all this is great.
Yes, it is. But let's put some action behind it.
Is that question is open for?
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely.
Fast is it's open for you. Waiting for you.
Yeah. Well, I think first of all, to my Nubian queen in the studio.
What's going on, Pastor? How you doing?
You better. It's just the Noop in me, the Cap Alpha side.
Hey, okay. I hear you.
Noopty noop.
No, but I think that it's having these conversations, right? I think that God has definitely afforded us, this generation, my generation, the generation underneath me, is the opportunity to create our own platforms, right? And to kill the spirit of competition, right? To know that we're all working together for a common cause, having these conversations repeatedly, openly, and I think that it's going to create an energy of camaraderie And once we get that, where we all realize, hey, I'm just trying to do the same thing you're doing. And guess what? If you get there before me, I applaud you. I'm going to
Right.
help
Absolutely.
you. I'm going to come alongside you. I'm not going to go over here and open up the exact same business you just opened up to be in competition with you, sis.
Right.
You know,
Right.
I think that when we start preaching that and we start teaching that and saying that in our music and making sure that in between the set songs, we're, putting that in the spirits of those that are in the audience, I think then we'll start seeing us move forward and actually bring the past the visions and the missions that are in our hearts to do for our community and for the people.
Absolutely. Bishop, your church, Greater Zion, is really in the forefront of politics, and that's one of my loves. I really love the fact that when someone is coming through to say, hey, a candidate is coming and I'm going to do this and this is my platform, that they stop there. That has been a saving grace for a lot of different situations. But I want to ask you, how important do you feel even now is it that the would-be leaders or the candidates come through and just allow the people to be able to ask questions and not just, saying what they're going to do, once they're elected, but, what are you doing now, and you're not elected. So I like that. But how important is that for you to continue that in that stead?
Oh my goodness, it's going to be like that. I told them y'all don't have to deal with me forever, because the history of the Black church, and this is the conflict between the millennials and the old school church, is that the millennials are coming into the knowledge that the history of the Black church was to educate our people and to become this powerhouse within the community that required people that would represent us to come speak to us in our house, if you will. We could demand answers, and then we would galvanize the community and the people to either put you in or take you out. And so it is important, especially when you have people like 45 in office, and
Right.
same thing, because he's not my president. And so 45 in office and saying things that he's saying and the rhetoric that's going forth, that it's so important that nonprofit organizations, pastors, churches, that we hold these representatives accountable, that we make them have conversation with us, and that it's important that pastors, solidify the church in a way where we don't have to feel like they need to throw money at us. So Greater Zion is one of those churches where we don't need your offering. We good. What you gonna do though is you're gonna answer these questions, and you can't buy me. And I think it's important that we have more churches like that step up and talk on behalf of the people that would never be able to come into that room. The other day, I was fortunate to be able to be in the room with former Vice President Joe Biden. And I saw so many pastors, they just wanted to take a picture and shake his hand. But I knew that my responsibility for the 4,000 people that I represent in the city of Compton was to get a one-on-one with him and ask the hard conversation of what you're going to do with the mass incarceration that's happening in America, where predominantly people of color are the ones that's being affected by it. And so we have got to hold them accountable. When we had Governor Gavin Newsom, asked him the hard question. When, I rebuked Kamala Harris on stage for being lieutenant governor, but never really passing any legislation that helped our young men get less harsh sentencing in the courtroom. We have to hold them accountable more now than ever, because they're the ones that's making decisions that ultimately affect our community.
Absolutely.
Sorry about it. I get that.
Right on. And then when are you running, Pastor?
I know, right?
When are you running?
2020.
You talking to, look, this is the wrong show for me to be on with you, because I'll be right there at the show like, yo, all right, Pastor, I'm going to let you, go through this. But, 2024, yes, sir. Okay? But I'm so glad you brought up those politicians, because, on the Dr. Tongie show, we always talk about, what's trending. And a few weeks ago, California Governor Gavin Newsom he this is crazy every time I say it, signed a bill which prevents discrimination against natural hair. And I'm looking at Dr. Tongie and TFP, and just to think this is 2019, and it sounds like the 60s. Right? No, and nothing's changed.
No.
That sounds insane.
I know.
That is.
It
But
does.
no, but that's
Absolutely.
so crazy. I
Absolutely.
was like, what?
So
so much, but
for the way that you're wearing
Right.
your hair right now, you may be discriminated against any moment, any time, housing, schooling, whatever, just to live life. Don't make any sense. And then the 16-year-old New Jersey that, when that story went viral, bless his heart, 16-year-old in New Jersey, Andrew Johnson, very competitive, incredible athlete in wrestling. A referee told him he couldn't wrestle this particular game here because he needed to cut his dreads when they use. I mean, how many athletes do you see all day, every day, whether it's NBA, NFL, with their locks? I mean,
absolutely.
I mean, what are you talking about?
Ludicrous.
I
It
mean,
is
it's
really
hair
ludicrous.
everywhere, every race, culture. So
It's another way for them to point out our blackness without necessarily pointing out our blackness without directly. It's like, let me call you out for this black feature that you have, but I'm not gonna say it's because you're black. I'm just gonna say it's this specific feature that the majority of you guys have that I don't want you to have in this place.
Absolutely.
It's I want to say I'm surprised, but unfortunately, the way that the climate has been and with
it's
the
crazy.
man in office, it's almost as if we're taking steps back. We're regressing. It feels like back to the
we
60s.
sprinting backwards. We
Oh,
sprint
yeah,
backwards.
yeah. It's like the things I remember reading in school with the civil rights movement and all that stuff. It's not even almost. We are back in that. It feels like the climate feels just as pressurized. It feels just as hateful.
Yeah.
And that's scary.
It is.
With less leadership. That's why I'm glad
Right.
we're talking about it now
With
and
less
making
leadership.
change. And
Absolutely.
actually, this is a call and a challenge on everybody who has leadership platform
Yes, it is.
to, run forward, sprint faster.
Absolutely. And what you're doing with those children, my God, I just listening to what Jeannie was saying, you've got right now in the cusp of your hands a chance to tell them you're beautiful with your kinky hair that we wear.
right.
You're beautiful with your melanin popping skin
Yes, yes.
and not be discriminatory.
Absolutely.
So thank you for what you're doing.
Yeah.
Thank you for your service.
Absolutely. No
Absolutely.
worries.
Absolutely.
And then Pastor Fisher.
Yes.
Go ahead.
Yeah. Well, what I was going to say is that I heard you say, it's like nothing has changed. But actually, one thing has changed, but they're not talking about it. And that is that Black people are really poised in position to be able to shake this country economically like never before.
Yeah.
We provide them with all their sports.
All the
We're
time.
making all the money for them. We are coming into, I think it was Dr. Dre, or I can't remember, but, more and more of our artists are becoming billionaires. We really can tell them, you know what? We don't need you to give us a bill against discrimination because we're not coming to your stuff no more.
Right.
And we build our own franchise. We build our own schools. I mean, we teach our own young people. And once we really start spreading that message, that's when we're gonna start seeing some fear shake up in America.
And that part
I'm
is happening.
The
excited.
black
That
dollar
part
is real.
That's what I loved about the late great Nipsey Hussle, and even LeBron doing schools and everything you just
Yeah.
touched on. So changes are happening. Like I said,
Yes, they
I
are.
just wanted just as much more as we can.
Absolutely. Bishop, it's always a pleasure. It is always an honor to be in your presence, to hear your voice, and to know that, you're good and you're still doing what you said you're going to do. You're committed to change. You're committed to growth, and you're committed to making this world a better place, a little better than when it was, when you got here. So thank you, sir.
Thank you guys for having me. And I just want to tell the listeners and everybody, I would love for you to hang out with me on social networks. And you can follow me on all platforms under Michael J.T. Fisher. Michael J.T. Fisher. And if you ever in Compton, you're more than welcome to come and hang out at Greater Zion Church Family. And you can look us up at www.gzcfamily.com. So look me up, y'all.
Thank you, Pastor Fisher.
I love you.
And kiss the baby boy.
I know, right? Thank you, sir. Talk soon.
Love y'all so much.
Love you.
Bye.
Bye.
All right.
I will. Bye.
And we're talking about leadership and
Wow.
change. And it's so amazing because we have an amazing guest who just joined the Dr. Tongie show who is the epitome of change. I mean, his organization is createthechange.org. So you can't get any more direct than that. And very excited he's here because he too is also in the trenches of things that need to be changed consistently.
Right.
And people that he's around, he's asking them to bring others around in numbers to make change, and that's how things happen.
I love it.
I'm real big on like these little shout outs and little things here and there. Sound great,
Yeah.
but I be calling it out.
Right.
It's nice, but so I appreciated Kevin Welbeck.
Welcome.
TFP. We in here talking about leadership, and so I mean, we had to have you here.
Absolutely.
T-shirt ready. I see.
I see he got.
Don't do me.
Go in all the way.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
So how did you get here? I mean, everybody talks change and doing something, but why?
Well, it happened in 2016 after Philando Castile and Sterling Brown.
Oh, yes.
Those incidents happened. Those
Yes, sir.
murders
Yes, they did.
happened.
Yes, sir.
You know, it was just like it kept happening over and over. Our people kept getting slain. Our men, our women getting slain in the streets for no reason.
Right.
And it felt just like there was nothing we can do. We felt helpless. We felt hopeless. And then I remember asking God. I was like, God, what is there to do? This stuff keeps happening. And I was looking on my social media, and I'm seeing everybody's anger, everybody's frustration, everybody's just like
Pain.
frustrated. They're they're in pain. And I go to sleep that night really feeling defeated. But then the next morning I woke up, and God really just started speaking to me. And then I went on Facebook and I put a proposal up, and I said, all right, maybe you're like me. You see everything that's going on, and you have to do something, but you don't know what to do. What if I was to put a meeting together where we all can just come together, brainstorm, collaborate on ideas that can hopefully make some change? And a lot of people responded to it, and it was beautiful. And then we held the meeting on July 6th, I believe. And it was like maybe 100, 200 people that showed up. Wow. And God told me, like, you need to start this organization. And He gave me the name Create the Change, because it's like we ask for change, we beg for change, we demand change, but really the change we want to see is going to come from us creating that change.
Absolutely.
So it's on us, and that's how we took off.
I love it.
That's my kind of people.
I know, right?
That's
I know.
Just go ahead, doctor. Just go ahead, because I
love the fact that you went to bed hopeless and defeated, but you woke up inspired. Not one time, and you didn't say you did. Oh my God, where's the money going to come from? Where are we going to? You said, listen. Simple post. So you used exactly what was in your hand, and that's what leaders do.
Amen.
They do. Thank you. Seriously, thank you very much for that.
And they got major responses. People on something they can't get 5-10 people come to a show. He put out a call.
He said, we dropped 150.
But exactly. But just simply ask a question. And also it made people feel involved and engaged. That's the other thing about leadership we have to be careful with. I love your disposition and how you went about the approach.
Yes.
Yeah, one thing I did want to highlight in doing that meeting was it was to affect positive change. A lot of people were angry and wanted just to lash out, get revenge, And I've seen other organizations kind of feeding into it. I'm like, that's not what I'm about as a person and the character and my character. And I'm like, that's not. I don't think that's the answer. Right. I get being intentional, aggressive, assertive, but like there's a positive way to do it. So it was really about taking people's anger and turning it into passion and channeling it towards ways to actually create change.
I love it.
And that's our motto. That's what we do.
Wow. You, I notice your emphasis is on homeless. You do a lot with the homeless.
We do homeless, social justice,
Yes.
and economic empowerment. Yes.
Oh, why those 3 caveats to start this?
They all kind of stem from who I am and like the things I care about. I kind of, you might say I do too much, or I care about, I care about too much. So it's like it's hard to focus on, say, police brutality, but then also see that my, brown brothers and sisters dealing with immigration and stuff, and not want to do something to help them. And it's not about doing everything, but there's ways to partner with people who are already doing stuff.
Absolutely.
To where, like I know we do stuff and we need help.
Right.
So it's like, why can't we be that help for other people that's focused on this thing or that thing? And then just overall doing the social justice that stem from police brutality as the main thing. And then homelessness. We in LA, we have a huge homeless community.
Right.
And
One of the largest in
you
the
know,
world.
largest in the
Makes
world.
no
yeah,
sense.
you
Absolutely.
can't talk about trying to do good in the world and then pass up your brother that's right there
Right.
begging
Right.
for food.
Let's get
so-
this money. No, you can't
Yeah.
have a
Yeah.
dollar for
Right.
free.
Yeah.
It's a little hard.
Yeah, and then economic empowerment was really inspiring us, especially us in the urban areas, to really take hold of our neighborhoods. Take hold, we do home ownership workshops.
Good.
Where teaching people how, because people are very comfortable just renting or just being where they're at and knowing that these neighborhoods are getting gentrified and they're getting pushed out.
Right.
It's like,
No
this
rent
is-
control.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's time to
Mhm.
own your own, and I'm even teaching myself as I'm learning these things.
I
So it's
love
like
that.
I'm participating in the workshops as well, just absorbing all this information.
Absolutely.
So we just want to put people in general in a better place to, one, do better, and also show other people how to do better.
I love that.
That's dope.
Oh, wow.
Providing resource
Yes.
directly. And
Yes.
I love that too, because I just spoke with somebody coming up to the studio. They're doing the same thing in New Orleans right now. And it said, but I said, so you just moved here from New Orleans. They were like, yeah, well, same thing that's happened in D.C., New York, and downtown L.A. is happening in New Orleans with all of the pain people still suffering from Hurricane Katrina. They didn't rebuild for them. They didn't help them. And they're still suffering and have nowhere else to go and have to go outside of their hometowns to find somewhere to stay.
Right.
And so the same process is happening because of, like you said, lack of education
Yeah.
and programs that are effectively and consistently making change.
Absolutely.
So
Yeah.
Do you see this as being something that you would like to take around the nation to?
Oh, I definitely envision it
Yeah.
becoming a global thing.
Absolutely.
Just all together. Of course, with God's grace and help,
Yes.
and the help of other people. I definitely, yeah, I'm
Absolutely.
sure this thing can be big.
Oh, wow.
oh, it's going to be.
I know it's already
It's
popping.
Yeah, because
Absolutely.
your disposition is
Yeah,
correct.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
then also I give you props for your trailer for leading with love as well. You and your wife's ceremony was amazing. So the root is, his base is leadership of love, and so all of this other stuff is
Thank you,
blossoming.
thank
So I
you.
just wanted to give you
I appreciate
props
that.
on that
Thank you.
because we don't see that enough, and y'all just kept testifying about how much y'all loved each other. I said I wanted to move and put on a diaper and become y'all's child. I was like, forget me trying to find somebody. I want to be y'all's baby. I'll sit there right with a Huggies
y'all
on and be
babysit
okay
me?
and be good and be good.
Thank you. She's gonna love this.
Oh,
Serious though, it's beautiful.
Thank you.
Some of the challenges that you see, I guess, across the board, and you can kind of hone in on this also, Tia. Does it begin, I guess, in the mind? Does it begin with people saying that I just, let me fix this first and then I can jump on a platform like yours and help a child? Or how do you?
It's kind of like when people say I'm waiting for the right time.
Yeah.
But there's
Yeah.
not really a right time. Like I've heard that phrase before. It's like my thing is if you see a need and if you can aid in any way, that's the right time.
Right.
So, and a lot of people think the only way you can, give is monetarily.
Mhm.
Time is just as valuable as money, if not sometimes even more valuable, because anybody can just donate and not really be vested in the cause, not really follow up with, and not really see how it's affecting the people in the groups that it's supposed to be affecting. But spending time, being in the trenches, being there, like not just being an extended face, but being in there, getting your hands dirty. It's something that they don't forget. It's something you don't forget, and it's just with people. This is what we are supposed to do. This is what community looks like. It's not just the individual. It's the individuals coming together as individuals, creating the group, doing things for the better. So it's, I don't know. It's yeah.
Okay.
No, that's real.
And you,
For me, it's just, everyone gets passionate when things go down.
Yeah.
I think people are tweeting and Instagram and stuff.
Right.
But like the work is really done when that hype fades down.
Yes.
But you don't see it enough people really willing to be committed beyond the outrage
That
phase.
consistency.
That's me.
And
Here we
it's
go.
like-
That same thing I keep saying.
And,
Yep.
and we know from the beginning it's not going to be a quick fix. It's not a
Right.
microwave thing.
Right.
This is going to take years. We're trying to do this for the generations after us.
Exactly.
And it's the work we do now. And just getting people to stay interested enough. And it's not that they don't care about the situation, But as they get so far from it, their own personal lives become more priority.
Right.
And I get it. We all have, things we have to deal with, but to the point where no one wants to be inconvenienced to do the work needed.
That's
like
a really
the people
good
that came
word.
before us, MLK and civil rights
They were
leaders.
quite
They were
inconvenienced.
inconvenienced.
All the time. We couldn't even
On the
compare
regular,
it.
right.
Inconvenience.
Yeah.
I'm looking at when we
Yeah.
talk. We tired.
Right.
I'm like, for what? When I
They
look at
never
what they were
stopped
doing.
marching.
You talking about
Yeah.
work
Never.
didn't stop moving and writing and meetings. I mean, it was
Yeah.
around the clock.
Yes.
And we
Yes.
And they had to watch their back 24/7.
Oh, absolutely.
We have so much freedom and opportunity,
Right.
yet
That's
we are
what
so
it is.
lazy.
Exactly.
There
Right.
we go.
No, we
The
can't even
attention
march the
span,
block.
right? The attention span of the
Right.
average millennial, or even a little bit older, is so short. We live in this
Yeah.
microwave, instant
If it's
gratification.
not, you can't tell me in
time.
15 seconds.
Right,
I'm gone.
it's gone,
Right.
and
Like they literally boycotted the buses, their means of transportation. Imagine
Yeah.
us just
For
trying
like
to
a year.
boycott
Yeah.
Uber.
Come
So like we
on.
wouldn't do it over a month. It's like we'll do it for a month, but that's
Right.
it.
Right.
But they kept, like you said, a year, and that brought that change that they needed to see. It's
I'm sure around like that 9th month, they like, yo, we've been doing this for 9 months, and we still, and I get it. It's hard, affecting being changed is not
Slow.
easy. That's why
Absolutely.
everybody's not out here doing it. If it was
Yeah.
easy, everybody we got, but
Right.
it's not. Like you said, you have to have a heart, you have to have a mindset, you have to understand that everybody is not going to be you, and everybody is not going to be as passionate about it as you are. But that doesn't mean you stop your passion, your drive,
Yeah.
because it's a gift you've been given. Having a heart for people is a gift,
Oh,
and we
absolutely.
can't ever allow the actions or the consequences or the criticisms of others to diminish that gift that we have to give to other people.
Absolutely.
she's
And
speaking
then
to me.
Tia-
I know.
Yeah.
I know.
She's speaking to
I-
me.
absolutely.
Look,
A leader-
TP, you
a
go off
leader
office
needs-
too. After we do the
Yeah.
films
Yeah.
and your multi albums global, that's what
That's
happens.
right.
I'm setting up stuff at y'all.
Yes, yes.
If anybody wants to support you on this BET next big thing journey and everything that's TIP, how do they follow?
I will listen here, party people. I am everywhere. When I say everywhere, I mean everywhere except for your house, except for Tuesdays on 7 p.m. unless you watch me on the next big thing. But you can find me on Instagram. But before I do that, my website actually is the home base for everything. You can find photos, videos, upcoming shows. Where's Tia? What's she doing? All up there. So that's IamTiap.com. And there also what we're doing is a campaign starting in about a couple of weeks, the Come Together campaign, where I know if you've heard like Honda's random helps acts of kindness,
I love
whatever.
that commercial.
Right. So
I've seen them and
Yeah.
I attack them.
Right,
I'm like, I'm right here.
And I
Some
love
of the
it.
parking
I
lot.
love
I was
it.
like, oh, it's real.
It's
It's huge.
Can I get a random at the
You know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
yeah.
Right,
That was
right.
brilliant.
So, yeah, so what we're doing with my song Come Together with my boy B Slade, we're going to set up a page on my website where people can show their come together moments and just how they are helpful, how they're engaging with people. Maybe it's something they assist with somebody during the day or just something that they do that brings people together, some way to make them interactive with somebody they may not have interacted with before, whether it be, somebody old, young, different race, different religion,
Wow.
any of that stuff. So
Random acts are
we're
coming
doing
together.
that. So it's
for
come
greatness.
together. Hashtag come together. That's going to be up on the website soon. Also, Instagram, you can find me there. I'm always posting. You'll see my dog and I running and working out in the morning, every morning faithfully. Shout out to my son, Puggle. And yeah, that too. Yes, that's my son. I am TIAP. And there you can hit me up. You can baseball slide in my DMs, but I advise you not to. Just tiptoe. So do that. Hit me up. I respond. I'm not fake. I follow back.
Yeah,
So
Tia's
don't
off the
don't.
hook. Wow,
love
love.
it.
Might pull you right
I
on
love
there.
it. I love
And
it.
Kevin
Yes.
Welbeck, createthechange.org. How can people get involved?
Well, website, yes, createthechange.org. That's CRE, the number 8, thechange.org. Also, our Instagram is a great place to just see what we're doing all the time. Same thing, Create the Change, CRE, the number 8,
Follow you right.
the change. Thank you. Sign up for our email list. We actually have an event coming up August 24th, Operation Feed the People, where we're going to pack up a truck with prepared lunches that we'll prepare just to go down the Skid Row and meet our brothers and sisters exactly where they are. We walk up to them, we serve them the lunches, we talk to them, we pray for them, we just fellowship with them, and we would love to have you guys out August 24th.
Oh,
That's
that's
so
gonna be
dope. Because
huge.
sometimes they just want a
Absolutely.
good conversation.
Yeah,
like
that's
that's
all
real.
they
Some
need.
people
That's
don't
right.
even talk to them. Like that's
That's
real.
it. Absolutely.
Yeah, human beings.
Yeah, yeah.
Absolutely.
Thank
What
you.
an amazing
Yeah.
show on leadership, Dr. Tongie. I love it.
I know.
Motivated.
I am.
Motivated.
Thank you for having us,
Oh my
Dr. T.
gosh, you just don't know. You guys are the one, man. It is refreshing. It is humbling. It is God ordered,
Yeah.
divinely prepared, and we are ready. We are. I want to thank each one of you guys, and I want to thank the VIPs. These are the people that take time to listen, and it's not predicated on if they like a page or like a picture. It's predicated on them being here, because you can't be a very important person if you don't show up. So you have to join me every Monday at 5 p.m. at Talk to Tongie on Facebook. We're interactive. We're doing life together, but I think I'm going to do a little something different because I like the approaches that you guys are doing. And I'll talk with her later, and she knows who she is. Meow. And him. But this is what it's all about. It really is. And I would do this. I swear to you, I would do this if I didn't get paid for it.
Amen.
How about that? I would do this for absolutely nothing.
Yep.
Yeah.
And it's but it's him, man. It's
Yeah,
him.
God,
These big old hands. I thought I was going to deliver babies, and I love that. But this is where I need to be. So I'm very
Delivering babies
grateful.
all over the place. That's what it is.
Right.
You're still doing it.
Absolutely.
Yep.
So thank you guys for your service. Thank your wife.
Yes,
Thank
will
your significant
Hey,
other
baby.
and management.
not anymore.
Okay, very good.
I've seen people comment on you. That's a whole nother show. We'll do TNP after dark. We'll do that.
They ain't ready.
But thank you again so very much. This has been so fantastic. I'm looking forward to continuing this conversation next Wednesday. And stay tuned.
All right.
We're just getting started.
Yeah.
Bye. I love
Bye.
y'all.
Bye.